Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. We're jumping back into things still with the new team. I guess it's not been that new at this point since we've used it for a couple of episodes, but if you've missed the last couple of episodes, I highly recommend them. All really fun games, and it's a pretty exciting team. Very different play style from the previous team we used, and kind of similar back to the San Jose team that we used, where just really hyper offensive, and you can often win games like immediately on the first turn, which we actually saw, pretty prevalent in yesterday's episode. So just under the 1700 mark now. Really hope to break that pretty soon. Not the best win-loss ratio, but we'll keep at it. And I'm interested in exploring some new team ideas and Pokemon concepts. There's the next big tournament that I'm attending is going to be Anaheim Regionals. I believe that's in 3 weeks, so that's something that I'm going to be starting to prepare for pretty soon. I did win that regional championship last year, so I'd love to defend my title, but we're going to find Tridart from New York with a rating of 1560. If any of you guys are going to Anaheim, I'd love to meet some of you guys there. And there is more rain. The rain never ends. Oh, maybe I should this is just telling me to put Gigalith over Snorlax, man. Ah, feels rainy, man. Okay, Whimsicott. And we faced Nature's Power Whimsicott the other day, so I'm scared of that too. Whimsicott, Pelipper, Golduck, Marowak, Garchomp, and Tapu Bulu. Oh, I actually saw, I know a lot of people ask this. It's like, oh, how do you determine the order you read the Pokemon? Like, obviously I know each Pokemon and its sprite, but it's just whatever pops up in my head first, so it's like recognition. Like, oh, that name jumps out immediately. So, and typically it's also like the things that stick out the most, so like Whimsicott's definitely pretty peculiar since it's not seen that often, but we did get my butt kicked by it the other day, so now I know it has Nature's Power, although I don't think this is going to be that kind of variant. So, with the rain lead, I typically go Snorlax and Gyarados, as you guys saw the other day. I don't see much reason to deviate from that because the other non-rain options on my opponent's team are all pretty weak to that combination of Pokemon. So, I feel pretty decent going with those, and I think that's solid enough. I think Nihilego is still really good here. I have to avoid a potential Tailwind, but if I can, it's pretty good. For the last one, it's between Coco and Chomp. And, Coco's, okay. But I think Chomp's better here. With Choice Scarf, I can catch the Bulu off guard. I can Poison Jab. Can also just outspeed and knock things out. So, we're going to get into the first game of this episode. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please show support by leaving a like in the video. Would really appreciate it. And let's see what my opponent's packing here. Really scared of Whimsicott, TBH, because Whimsicott's one of those Pokemon where it's it gets access to 20 usable moves. And it literally could be any of those moves, and you never know until you see them. So, I'm gonna go with Gyarados and Snorlax here, get the Intimidate off immediately, and he does go with Pelipper Golduck. Okay. So, you guys have seen how I play against this. I don't think I'm gonna deviate from that. Although, people might be smart now and realize, hey, maybe I should just double up on the Gyarados. But I'm just gonna Z-move, and maybe I want to Curse. How important is cursing in this matchup? Maybe I'll go for the same. Oops, not Z-move here. Oh, no, I did not mean to click that. Wrong buttons. I'm gonna Dragon Dance, and yeah, I'm gonna go for the Recycle play here. So same play I made against Rain last time. I really hope this isn't a viewer who has seen how I play against Rain, because then it would be bad, because you literally know what's coming your way. But my opponent could also predict the Z-move, but I don't know. If you don't know my sets, it's hard to expect to double up in a Gyarados. So here's the Z-move, no Protect's coming out, not much of a surprise there. The main question is, does this target the Gyarados or the Snorlax, and then does Pelipper also doubled up into my Gyarados slot? Because if it does, I'm actually in a really bad position. So hopefully... Okay, good. Whew. Always a little bit scared there, but yep, Snorlax here, made to eat up this Hydro Vortex, takes that with 25%, heals back down to 75%, get the Dragon Dance off here with my Gyarados. Hopefully it's not a Hurricane going into Gyarados. Hurricane plus Confusion would be kind of bad. It's a Tailwind, I'll take that. So net positive turn there. And I will munch up and get my berry back. Great. So, this next turn, I am just going to go try to dunk the Golduck immediately. And the remainder of my opponent's team is relatively specially based, and I did get my berry back, so I think I actually will go for a Curse this turn. I can also stall out the Rain relatively decently with Snorlax, through the combination of Recycle. Pelipper switches out, which is perfect. Into Tapu Bulu, okay. So, this is a really solid turn, because I should knock out Golduck. Oh, he could Encore Snorlax. I guess that's the one downside. But nope, he Encore's Gyarados. Perfect. So the reason why I Dragon Dance in front of it is because you actually can't Encore Z moves, which is a pretty fun fact that I actually didn't know about for a long time. So that's why I do have the Z move here, and this is a really perfect turn. And not only I should knock out the Golduck from this Gyarados. Actually, I'm curious. Now that I'm Encore, though, does that mean after this turn I have to Dragon Dance? Because then that means I have to switch out Gyarados, which isn't the end of the world, but that's actually a mechanic I'm not familiar with. So we'll find out on the next turn. But Hydro Vortex still will go off. It's not going to be locked into Encore, and that will just eliminate Golduck. So for the third time in a row, I think this is the third game that we've had where that just picks up a knockout. Snorlax here will get a Curse, which is actually really, really important against the Tapu Bulu, because otherwise Bulu should do a ton of damage against it, and I should be able to take it an attack and survive and heal back from my berry. And Grassy Terrain actually heals me, which is even better. So, perfect turn for me there. And that's why I went for the Dragon Dance play, knowing you can't Encore into the Z move. Which is a really cool mechanic, honestly. I'm glad it works the way it does. So, Pelipper comes back in. I think I should be locked into Dragon Dance now with Gyarados, if I'm correct. Yeah. So, that's an interesting mechanic, honestly. So, that's fine. I'm going to switch in a Chomp. Who's potentially in the back? I eliminated Golduck, which is good. Nihilego, I think, is more important here, if I make it to a late game. Wait, I mean, if I make it, obviously will, but I think the idea here is just gonna bring in Chomp, and I'm just gonna go for a Facade. Because once Tailwind expires, I can also switch Gyarados in next turn for an Intimidate. So that's my plan. I could have gone for a Recycle with Snorlax, but I want to break Pelipper Sash right now. He's gonna Wood Hammer, probably into Gyarados. No, into Snorlax. Perfect. So that's why I did want to go for that Curse. You see, I take that, and I'm going to heal pretty much all the way back up with my berry. This Snorlax is an absolute beast, especially against these rain comps. It's actually incredible how much work it puts in. It's going to go for a Scald onto the... So, predicting the Garchomp to switch in. And gets a burn, unfortunately. But that's fine. I will be able to get this Facade off, at least, and that does well over 50%, which is nice. And I'm going to still heal back from all this... Ooh, it's lefties Hulu, though. That's kind of interesting. Okay. So my goal really should be to make sure that my opponent doesn't get another Tailwind up. So I think I can make a relatively safe play of just switching Chomp out into Gyarados and going for Facade onto the Pelipper. Although I suppose Pelipper could protect, but there... Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, there's one more turn of Tailwind. Yeah, so I'll just... This is relatively risk-free, I think. Maybe I'll switch it, stay in with Garchomp, actually. Because I don't want to get burned with Gyarados as well. Yeah, let's actually stay in. And Poison Jab, Wooloo, and Facade. Staying in might seem weird here, but I think it makes some sense. Ooh, he taunts. I'll take that. Perfect. So no Protect from Pelipper. I thought my opponent might have contemplated protecting, expecting Gyarados to come in. But I'm fine sacking Chomp here. I'd rather have Chomp fainted, because it's burned, so it doesn't do that much damage at this point, as opposed to switching in Gyarados and getting that burned as well, because then it's two of my physical type attackers that are burned. But instead, I'm able to eliminate the Pelipper, so Rain's basically, the Rain component of my opponent's team is gone. My Snorlax is taunted, but that's fine. I'm not really too concerned about that. This is a relatively safe switching back into Gyarados. Gyarados now will be able to intimidate the Bulu, and my opponent's team is relatively physically based as well. So unless it's the Whimsicott in the back, this should be able to get an Intimidate off whatever physical type attacker is coming back in. And the taunt is a little bit annoying, but the thing is I've got Nihilego in the back, and we see Marowak. Nihilego just one-shots both of these, so this is basically a free opportunity to just attack into the slots. I could go for a Dragon Dance. I don't see too much of a reason to, though, TBH. I think I'm just going to launch a Waterfall here into Marowak and a Facade. I'm not going to bother switching out because I know I've got Nihilego to close things out in the back. So I'm just going to make safe plays here. If you're my opponent, you definitely protect Marowak, and Bulu tries to knock out Gyarados. Yeah, so it does make the play I expected him to, but I think one better play maybe would have been to protect my Gyarados, just to scout off and protect from Marowak. But he's intimidated now, so Woodhammer should not knock me out. Yep, I hang on. Very nice. And Facade comes out. This isn't going to knock out Bulu, but another one might. Yeah. So Rain stops there. I could have Dragon Dance with Gyarados as well, but it's all fine. Getting that initial Intimidate was basically the biggest deal, because now I can just go for another Waterfall and Facade. Snorlax is also healed all the way back up to full HP. This is, like, that's why Snorlax is, like, one of the reasons why it's so awesome, especially with Recycle. So, yep, just another safe play of Waterfalling and Facading. The reason why this is safe, I think, is he can't knock me out. Like, he can't double up into anything, really, to knock anything out. So Waterfall doesn't knock out Marowak there, but that's fine. Yep, he's gonna Horn Leech. Oh, he actually targets down Snorlax. Interesting. So we might see a double up into Snorlax here. But once again, I've got Nihilego in the back, so my opponent basically need to pick up 2 knockouts in the same turn here, and that's not possible, which is why I didn't bother making any switches. I guess the Woodhammer count came pretty close. If that crit me, would it have been bad? I don't think so, because I think Snorlax still wins anyway against these two. Especially because Taunt's wearing off. But yep, Lulu's going to get knocked out. I did get a crit there. I don't think that really matters. And Nihilego can just come back in and close things out now. So yeah, I'm really content about how this game played out. The lead was a little bit scary as always, but I don't know. As soon as I run into someone who's seen how I play against Rain and makes a play expecting that it becomes scary because, like, once again, if you don't know the team's knowledge, you don't expect the Z move Dragon Dance, you don't expect Snorlax with Recycle. I mean, you might expect those, but it's still hard to play around. And the way you could really easily just counter me is obviously just going for a double up into Gyarados, because then I lose Gyarados and Snorlax wastes his Recycle. So we'll see if we run into someone who eventually figures out the way to beat it. But so far, we're 3 for 3 on beating Rain Team, so I'll take that at least. Power Jump's going to come out, knock out Marowak, and that will be a win for our first game in today's episode. So yeah, when I was constructing this team, I didn't even think of the Rain matchup, and then I was like playing on stream, and I was like, wow, playing against Rain is really hard. But then I was like, wait, Gyarados Snorlax actually puts in work, because Gyarados, like, with the Z move, with Rain, and with Dragon Dance, its damage output is ridiculous. So having a way to one-shot the Golduck is super nice. So we're going to take a win there, and we're just going to look for our next game of today. I'm pretty content about that one, though, honestly, yeah. Other than that, I didn't see the Whimsicott. And I think Whimsicott's actually really scary. This team actually suffers a little bit against Tailwind. That's like... Tailwind's honestly a little bit more of an issue than, say, Trick Room is. But the Whimsicott did end up making an appearance. And the way you play around Whimsicott most of the time is you know it doesn't do too much damage. So you attack around it because basically with Tailwind you want to have 2 Pokemon that can utilize the Tailwind and maximize it out all at once. As win here would put us in the 1700s, so let's try to get that. But yeah. Ooh, really interesting team come from our next opponent here. Porygon Z, Arcanine, now Ego, Celesteela, Gigalith, and Gastron. I don't like this. My Porygon Z matchup is pretty poor. Porygon. Poor. Bad puns there. Anyway, I don't know how to play this. I think Snorlax is, like, just incredible against my opponent's entire team. So I might go... Now you go Snorlax. That seems like such a weird lead. But it makes sense to me. I'm assuming this is Scarf Porygon Z, though. If it's Z move, that could be bad. Maybe I want to assume it's Z move, then. No. No, maybe. Decisions, question mark. This is tough. I want Coco in the back. And I think I'm going to go Gyarados. But it's so hard bringing in a Gyarados anytime you go up against a Gastrodon, so I'm going to really need Snorlax and Coco to carry against this Gastrodon, if it makes an appearance. I don't remember if it was last game, or I think it was yesterday's episode, where my opponent had a Gastrodon team preview, but actually didn't even end up coming out, so... I don't know. Against my team comp, like, you would think Gastrodon's a pretty good Pokemon to bring in, but... I guess without Earth Power, like, it's a little bit harder, but we'll see. Let's see what Alex has got. Porygon Z definitely sticks out the most. It's a Pokemon we've seen some pretty good usage of recently, either with Scarf or Z move. But now we go Special Defense, that's pretty solid. And Snorlax is pretty bulky. I think I can take a Hyper Beam. So it is Porygon Z and Gastrodon, okay. How do I play against this? I know I can take a Scald with... Nah, there you go. My goal really should be to eliminate Z. So I'm gonna Sludge Bomb and... What's threatening in the back? What could he do here with Porygon Z? Scald from Gastrodon doesn't knock out Nihilego. So I think Porygon Z either Hyper Beams or Tri-Attacks. I don't need... Would a Hyper Beam knock out Nihilego? I feel like it wouldn't. I really want to just double up on Porygon this turn. Because I really just need to get rid of that before Coco can come in. Yeah, I'm going to double up into it. And if it's Z move, then I'll get the Sludge Bomb off before he Z conversions. I expect to eat up a Hyper Beam with Snorlax here. But he switches out. Celesteela. Now you go. Ah, I should have high horsepowered into that slot. Makes me wonder if he is the Z move then. Yeah, Sludge Bomb does absolutely nothing. Now you go as a defensive tank. Muddy Water Gastrodon, wow. So maybe it's more offensive, I guess. Yeah, please don't accuracy drop. Why do I jinx myself? Not on Snorlax too. Okay. But high horsepower would have knocked out Nihilego there, so I wish I made that read. It's okay. In retrospect, yeah, that probably would have been a better play, because it catches anything off guard. Anything coming in off guard. That's fine. This is a pretty obvious play, but I'm still going to go for it. I'm just going to protect and high horsepower. I don't want to switch out Nihilego just yet, that's why. Ooh, switches back out. Into Arcanine. I'll take that. So we already know all my opponent's Pokemon, which is actually very nice. The accuracy drop is a little bit concerning on Nihilego right now, though. Yeah, he's just gonna Muddy Water again. Okay, that's fine. Dealing with Gastrodon's gonna be a doozy, though. Okay. No miss. Good. Yeah, if I high horsepower turn 1, though, it would have been so good for me. That still does 50%. What? Nice. Okay, well, with that... Snorlax is really my key to winning this game. It really is. It could be Band Extreme Speed. That wouldn't even knock me out, though, I don't think. So I think I'm going to take this time to actually Power Gem and Recycle, because he's going to bring me under 50% with Muddy Water. He could switch Arcanine back out, but that's fine. No switch out. Okay, good. So I eliminate Arcanine. Not that that's a major threat to my team. I will probably lose my Nihilego here, but that's fine. I'll take that trade. And I know all of my opponent's Pokemon, which makes this match a little bit easier, too. Really comes down to that Porygon Z, though. I don't know its item yet. He is going to hit Muddy Water here. Yeah, so he brings Lax under 50%. Finally gets an accuracy drop. Hasn't missed the Muddy Water yet either, but what can you do? So I'll heal back and I'll get the curse off. Question is who to bring in now. Sorry, not the curse, the recycle. I really wish I high horsepower turn 1. That was just such a bad oversight by my end. Because it's like, nothing switches into a Facade anyway. And I guess I was maybe worried Sludge Bomb plus high horsepower wouldn't knock out, so I went for Facade, but meh. Who do I want to bring in now? What's in the back? It's either Nihilego, which doesn't have a Sash anymore, or PZ. So I'll bring in Gyarados, because I at least can protect with Gyarados, yeah. I really need Snorlax to carry me this game, though. Okay, so Porygon Z comes in, that's fine. Okay, well, we'll figure out what sec Porygon Z is this turn, I guess. I want to Dragon Dance here and Curse. Maybe I should switch Snorlax out. I can't really risk that, though. I don't like that I'm at -1 attack right now. I wanted to switch in Coco, but without knowing the Porygon Z's item, like, that's the main concern. Snorlax can win the 2v1, I think, against Nihilego Gastrodon. Because high horsepower just knocks out Nihilego. But Gastrodon's a concern. Yeah, Gastrodon in general is just not a fun Pokemon to play against with this team. I don't have great answers against it. So we'll see what Porygon Z has. And this is really coming down to the wire. Ooh, okay, so pretty sure that confirms he's Scarf. He actually goes for Dark Pulse. Huh. I'll take that. Toxic into Gyarados. So he has Toxic on Gastrodon. That's not too much of a problem, I think. Especially because Dark Pulse is not doing much damage to me. I don't know why you Dark Pulse instead of try attacking TBH. Maybe fishing for a flinch. But that's a net positive turn, I would say. So I'm gonna double up in a Z here with a nice Fang and a Facade. Because if he switches in Nihilego, that faints anyway, and I need to eliminate Porygon Z. Once Porygon Z goes down, then I can focus my attention onto Nihilego, and then Coco in the back is less threatened. Although I suppose Coco right now isn't... Actually, Coco outspeeds Nihilego anyway. I don't know if a Specs T-Ball knocks it out Nihilego though, because its special defense, like I have mentioned, is pretty decent. So, last term played out a lot better than I expected. I was expecting to just take a ton of damage. Yep, that's Specs PZ, or Scarf PZ, sorry. I guess maybe he didn't want to try attack knowing he could inflict status conditions. And he's seen Facade. But that's fine. I mean, Ice Fang plus Facade here should do a decent amount. Maybe even knocks... Oh yeah, he's gonna Toxic me. That's definitely knocking out the Porygon Z then. Okay. In fact, I'll take that. I mean, that means additional damage against this Gastrodon the entire game now. And that guarantees a knockout on a Porygon. Perfect. So, let's see. What have we seen from Gastrodon? We've seen Scald and Toxic. I believe that's it. Sorry, Muddy Water and Toxic. Although I'm fortunate I haven't missed an attack through the accuracy drops. That's always scary. So now Ego's obviously going to come back in. But that's fine. Yeah, I could. I think I will. Just Ice Fang here. And high horsepower. You could protect, but Gastrodon's not going to do much. Basically, the way I beat Gastrodon is a 2v1, so I just need something alongside Snorlax. So the goal is obviously to keep Snorlax alive. Well, maybe I'm... I don't know if Ice Fang would knock out Nihilego, because I am Jolly Gyarados. And that's because you want Jolly so that with Dragon Dance you outspeed stuff like Max Speed Coco after +1. Let us see. What does Nihilego do? If Nihilego goes down this turn without Snorlax going down, I feel pretty good about my chances. I think maybe I should have recycled just to get some more insurance with the berry, but no protect. And I don't miss Ice Fang, which is great. Yeah, so he actually survives. He's going to get this Power Gem off. And it's actually a knockout. That's fine. Because even if I miss high horsepower now, Dazzling Gleam knocks out Nihilego anyway. At least it should with Specs and Modest. And he's Life Orb, yeah. And he actually knocks himself out. Cool. So I could have Facaded there, but I didn't know how much Ice Fang would do. Ice Fang could have missed too, so I was just covering the miss option. He actually recovers with Gastrodon. I miss high horsepower, that's fine. But I do have to keep in mind that the poison timer is ticking down slowly now. So given that Gastrodon has recover, I think I'm just going to curse a bunch of times and then go for the win. Because there's no point in going for damage when he can recover because the toxic timer is ticking down. So might as well, like, Dazzling Gleam puts on offensive pressure anyway. If I, like, Grass Knot, yeah, that'd be a surefire way to win this, but should be good still. Yeah. And that's one of the, like, Facade hasn't really been beneficial so far, but it actually helps out very much in situations like this. Snorlax versus Gastrodon, for example, a matchup that isn't that uncommon. Or, I mean, like, oh wow, that Dazzling Gleam actually does so much. Proccing, what is that? Citrus or Moringa? Yeah, Citrus. Not Moringa, sorry. What was I thinking of? I think it's Moringa, actually, the one that gives you the special defense boost. But yeah, Toxic onto my Coco. Anyway, like I was saying, a lot of the times you'll end up in a stall war against something, and a lot of Pokemon, like, will try to go for a status condition in those late game positions. But given that we've seen Toxic, Muddy Water, and Recover, I think next turn Dazzling Gleam and Facade actually should be able to just close things out. Though I could miss. So maybe... I think I might actually recycle to be on the safe side here, because Coco's still doing a lot of damage with Dazzling Gleam. It's one of the nice things about playing against Gastrodon in this format. You know it can't have Earth Power because of the move tutor from previous gens. So another Dazzling Gleam will finish it off anyway. He has to recover here. But I'm just going to play it safe just to get my berry back to ensure even if I miss, I should be good. But next turn, Dazzling Gleam plus Facade should just close things out anyway. But my main fear was, okay, I suppose actually there was no reason not to Facade there. What I was thinking, when I didn't fully think things out, was like, okay, if I Dazzling Gleam, you Muddy Water. Yeah, so like, see, Snorlax takes a ton of damage from poison there. I was afraid that plus Muddy Water crit maybe could knock me out, but now I heal back a ton. And Coco doesn't have to deal with accuracy drops, so he has to continue to recover. So I'm pretty sure this double target should just knock it out this turn. I hope so. And I have a chance of critting, obviously, with any of the moves I use as well. Yeah, he's gonna Facade, but I'm at +1 with Snorlax and Poison, and I'm using Facade. And this Snorlax is actually pretty offensive. So even if it doesn't knock it out, he hasn't shown Protect either, so Dazzling Gleam should just knock it out. But nope, Snorlax is a beast, picks up the knockout, and we pick up the win. So, that was a very intense, long, drawn-out game. One in which I assessed Gastron was going to be a problem, and it absolutely was. But fortunately, we were able to play around that. And that's because my opponent played relatively passively with that Scarf Porygon Z. I think if he locked himself into a tri-attack, at least you'd get a little bit more damage output because that Snorlax was eating up Porygon Z's attacks like it was nothing. But that's why I really like the Snorlax on this team. Like, you can really just take all these special and physical attacks and, like, heal back up with the berry and recycle and whatnot. So it's a really fun set. Of course, the inspiration, a lot of players have been using this set, but Marcus Thatcher was able to win a regional championship over in Europe with it, and I was really inspired by his team. And Ricardo, who was able to climb to the 2000s on Battle Spot, also had a Snorlax. So I was like, okay, I think it's finally time to try it out. And I really like the Curse set. Yeah, Belly Drum was something people were using, but I think Curse is just a lot safer of an alternative because you don't have to chunk your own HP. So yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, leave a like if you did, and I'll catch you guys next time. Alright, peace.